The fact is that we are a part of everything. Just as our bodies are really made of the same atoms and elements that go to make up the whole universe, so also our consciousness is a part of the consciousness that exists in the universe. And in science they talk of potential energy, don't they, as well as kinetic energy. Potential energy is real even though it hasn't yet been expressed. In that same way, we must say that everything that man has been able to accomplish was a potential reality from the beginning, or it wouldn't be so now. Consciousness is a potential reality long before consciousness manifests itself on a planet, outwardly. In other words, we are exploring realities that are already there. We haven't invented consciousness. We haven't created consciousness. We've manifested something that was already there. And whatever happens in a higher age, it's already here as a potential. And we have the job to try to manifest that. We don't have the job of creating anything. We have to understand that it's all there already. We can only do our little bit to help bring it into outward manifestation. The aloneness that man feels is of his own making. If we can learn to get down beneath the surface and recognize that we are not separate from each other, that we are all basically one, then that feeling of aloneness will go. But there's another reason for that feeling of aloneness, and that is that the more you try to seek out of yourself, the more you empty yourself. Because you're giving all your energy, you're not replenishing it. And your sense of aloneness is not because you haven't yet been able to get people around you and hang on to them strongly enough. Your sense of aloneness is that you have emptied yourself. We need to learn to have an inner life. We need to learn to fill our own hearts with the divine presence. This is the importance of meditation, that we bring God into our hearts, or rather I should say we help him to blossom there because he's there already. Help that joy and love to blossom from within. And as we do so, then we find that we are at home everywhere. We don't need to look just to others and say, oh, you're my brother and you're my sister and you belong to me. We need to be a brother and a sister to all by having that consciousness inside ourselves. And when we have that feeling that wherever we go, we are looking at brothers, we don't have to persuade them. They automatically begin to treat us that way too. And so we keep thinking that the responsibility that we have in coming into a new age is to make the world over, change people, convince them this is what you're supposed to do. Not really, no. You just have to be true to your own self. That's why thinking too much about the new age is really not that useful, because the very thought helps to push it away rather than bring it. We need to get away from this thought that we can do it. I was thinking about I know somebody was asking me once, what do you see Ananda's mission to be? Well, I don't like these grandiose terms very much, because as soon as people become too self-conscious, then they no longer can do it properly. So I said, well, I think our mission is to have fun. And actually, I don't mean it quite as frivolously as that seems to imply. Because I think if we really have fun, which is to say if we can act with divine joy, I think that's the greatest thing we can bring anybody, because then they'll say, oh, that's what I want. Everybody's looking for joy.